So, good afternoon, all. So, today we will discuss about we will see generated EMF or EMF equation of generator, right? So, today's topic is EMF equation of DC generator. So, this is today's topic. So, first let us define certain things regarding the generator and its different parts, right? We have seen different parts in the previous classes. Okay, different important parts of our main parts of a DC generator we have seen, and later we have seen the function of each and every generator, right? So every part of a generator we have seen the function of each part of the generator. Now, in the previous class, that is yesterday's class, we have seen the working principle of generator, right? So what was the principle which we have discussed in the previous class? That is Faraday's laws we have discussed, right? We have seen in the previous class that Faraday's laws are the actual laws behind the working of a DC motor as well as generator. Okay. Now let us and also we have seen in the yesterday's class that the mechanical energy given to the DC generator, right, that is converted, that is being converted into electrical energy in the presence of magnetic field, right? So whatever the mechanical energy we give to the conductor, or so these are the pictures we have seen in the previous class, right? So topics, right? I think these are visible to you. So this conductor, what are the conductor is shown here? So if we give mechanical energy, sorry, here it is for motor. So we have given current, we are passing current through this conductor, and that conductor is placed in the magnetic field. So this electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy in the presence of magnetic field. So that is the principle behind the motor. And similarly, so this is this picture we have I have used to explain the working of a DC generator. So this conductor is moved. This conductor is moved. Conductor is moved in the magnetic field. So the energy used to move this conductor, that is nothing but we are giving mechanical energy to this conductor. So that energy is converted into electrical energy in the presence of magnetic field. Okay. So, and we have seen that E, magnitude of EMF, is proportional to rate of change of flux linkage, E proportional to d phi by dt, and along with the direction, E is equal to minus n d phi by dt, and that minus sign shows uh, the nature of the induced voltage or and the nature of the induced current, right? So induced current always opposes the cause. Okay, right? So when current is flowing in this conductor, when the current flows in this conductor, when we close the circuit, so that current also produces magnetic field. That is also we have seen, right? So that magnetic field interacts with the magnetic field of this magnet, and there will be what, uh, force acting on the conductor, or otherwise this current carrying conductor which is moving is in the magnetic field. So it will also experience a, it will also experience a force, right? So that is called torque or electromagnetic torque. Okay, so now let us go to the details of a EMF equation, right? So we have seen that there is a magnetic or field poles, field system. So field system comprises of field winding and field poles, right? So field winding and field poles are the parts of the field system in a DC generator. So let sorry. So field system, let phi. So phi is the symbol we use to denote the flux that comes out of the field poles. So phi is equal to flux per pole in Webers. Okay. So this flux is produced by the field poles. Now Z is equal to total number of conductors, armature conductors. Next, this is also equal to number of slots multiplied by conductors plus slot per slot. Okay, so number of slots in the armature core into number of conductors per slot will give us the total number of conductors placed in the armature. That means number of conductors of the armature winding. So next, P, number of generator poles, number of poles. Okay, and the next one, A is equal to number of parallel paths. Okay, so what is this number of parallel paths? It is in armature winding. Okay, so I want to explain this here. So here, a number of parallel paths. Okay, see the armature winding is divided into parallel paths. Okay, so for different purposes, for different purposes. Okay, so that means, for example, let number of conductors Z is equal to 100. Okay, so if conductors are 100, these conductors are connected in these can be connected in series or in parallel also, right? So for example, one conductor, second conductor, third conductor, fourth conductor, like this. These can be connected uh, like this, right? That means so and so on. So 100 conductors, 50 conductors, conductor 1, 2, and so on, 100. Okay, so these 100 connectors can be connected like this series. Okay, okay, 100 connectors in sorry, 50 sorry, I have taken 100, right? So these are 50 conductors. So I can connect 50 conductors in series like this. Out of this 100, I can connect 50 conductors like this, and another 50 conductors I can connect in series like this. So this is the 100th conductor. So this is 51, 52, 53, and so on. 100th conductor. They are connected in series. Okay. Now these, so first 50, this is series connection of 50 conductors, right? So this is 50 conductors, this is another 50 conductors. So these two can be connected in series, in parallel. Okay. So total how many conductors? 50 conductors in first parallel path, first first branch, and another 50 conductors in the second branch. Okay. So total how many parallel paths are here? Because this is a node 1 and this is node 2. So these two are, these 50 first 50 conductors and second 50 conductors are in parallel. Okay. So parallel paths A is equal to 2 here. Okay. So I don't want to have just two parallel paths, but I can connect I can connect like this also. How I can connect 1, 2, and 25. Next, this is 26. This is 50. Like that, I can have 75. This is 51, and like that, this is 100 conductor. This is 76. Okay. So these are first 25 are in series. Okay. Next 25 are in series, right? Now these 4 paths are connected in parallel like this. So right, this is the node, right? So between these two nodes you have 4 parallel paths. Okay. So here in this case, parallel paths A is equal to 4. I can have a number of parallel paths of my own choice, right? So that is how the winding is arranged in the armature. So in that case, somebody has put a message in the chat box. Sir, few members are okay. I have allowed them. So all those who are in the waiting room, I have allowed. So now no one is there in the waiting room, right? Now parallel paths I can arrange like this. Okay. So having more number of parallel paths has one advantage. Having less number of parallel paths is having another advantage. So depending upon the requirement, we can have. But here parallel paths, when coming to this DC generator, this is equal to 2 for wave winding. So this is one type of winding used in DC generators. So this is equal to P, number of poles for lap winding. So this is another type of winding used in DC generators. Okay. So in DC generators you can have these two. So wave winding, if it is the armature winding is connected in a wave format, okay, it is a it will be having only 2 parallel paths, just like in this figure I have shown. A is equal to 2 parallel paths here. And if it is if it is a lap type of winding, it will be equal to number of poles. The parallel paths of winding will be equal to number of poles of the generator, right? So you can have it is equal to number parallel path is equal to 2 or parallel path is equal to p. Okay, so that is the important thing you have to keep in mind. So next n, next one is next variable we must know is n. N is equal to number of armature revolutions per minute. Number of armature revolutions per minute, or rpm revolutions per minute, right? Because we are rotating the armature in the field, right? I have shown you the figure here. So this armature, see here in the left side diagram, the center cylinder, right, is there, and the green color shaft is there, right? So this shaft, the shaft is a uh, the shaft is connected to a prime mover, and the prime mover rotates it, right? So per minute, how many rotations this armature is making in the field, that is represented by capital N. And now next one is E. E is equal to EMF induced in any parallel path. EMF induced in any parallel path. Okay, because if we have say two parallel paths, since one both the parallel paths are in parallel by their name, we can understand that they are in parallel. So whatever the voltage induced in one parallel path, the same amount of voltage is also induced in the second parallel path also, because both parallel paths are having same number of conductors. Okay, and also these are in parallel, so there is no chance to differ in voltage for these parallel paths. So all the parallel paths will have same voltage. So E is equal to EMF induced in any parallel path in armature. So this is important derivation, many times asked in the examinations, right? So this is also called EG. E suffix G is equal to EMF, generated EMF. That is also equal to E. Okay. Next, this is also for which we are now going. Now we are going to derive the. Excuse me. We are going to derive the equation. Okay. So let's proceed now. Now, because this armature is being rotated in the uh, magnetic field, first I will calculate the voltage induced in a single conductor. Okay, or EMF generated, average EMF generated per conductor. So I will go into black color. The average EMF generated per conductor is equal to how much? See, what is the EMF formula for EMF induced in a conductor according to Faraday's first law? Just see here. EMF is proportional to d phi by dt, right? Or E is equal to n d phi by dt. Okay. So if n is equal to 1, that will be equal to d phi by dt, right? So this is E, the magnitude of EMF is equal to n into d phi by dt. Since n is equal to 1, so E is equal to d phi by dt volts, right? Because it is voltage. So average EMF generated per one conductor, it is d phi by dt volts, right? So now flux d phi, let us calculate d phi, okay, and dt, right? Then it is over, right? So I will calculate d phi here. Average EMF generated per conductor is d phi by dt. So I must know d phi and dt to calculate it, how much voltage is induced, right? So now flux cut per conductor, flux cut per conductor in one revolution, that is d phi. So d phi, how much, how can I know this? So in one revolution, how much flux it is cutting one conductor? Because phi is a flux per pole here, right? So the first term we have defined is phi is equal to flux per pole in Webers. So if we are having one pole in the generator, it will produce 5 Webers. It will give 5 Webers, right? If you have two poles, it will give you how much flux? Anybody please respond? Anybody? Anyone please give the answer? If you are if you are having a, if one pole gives, see phi is flux per pole in Webers, right? So one pole gives 5 Webers, right? So if two poles, it is a 2 into 5. So but how many poles we have in our generator? P. P is the number of poles. So d phi is a phi into P, or P into 5 Webers. Okay. When the conductor completes one revolution, it will have passed through the influence of all the poles, right? When it completes one complete rotation, finishes one complete rotation, it would have passed through all the poles. Say if the poles are 2 and flux per pole is 5, it is 2 phi. But in general, the number of poles are denoted by, not denoted by P. That's why. So d phi is in one revolution is P into phi. Now flux, what should dt we have to calculate, right? So for dt, number of revolutions per second we utilize. So we have n, right? N is equal to number of revolutions per minute, right? I want number of revolutions per second is equal to n by 60. Okay, yes or no? Per second, number of revolutions is n by 60. So how many revolutions are time taken, time for one revolution, how much will be? 60 by n seconds. Okay. Is it okay? Any doubt? Please respond, at least one person. No one wants to respond. Hello. Okay, I will call by name. Kiran Datta. So is it okay? Did you understand what I told? Kiran Datta is not responding. Gopi Raju, not responding. Shreya, Krishna, no one is responding. Okay, time for one revolution is equal to 60 by n seconds. Okay, so therefore, according to Faraday's law, E is equal to Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, they are called. Okay, Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, they are called. So EMF generated per conductor, average EMF generated per conductor is equal to d phi by dt. So this is equal d phi is how much? P into phi. Dt is 60 by n. So that is phi n p by 60 volts. In one conductor, in one revolution, this much amount of EMF is induced. Phi np by 60 volt. Okay, now if this is a this is only EMF induced in one conductor, but we have so many number of conductors, right? So we don't keep a single conductor and expect 100 volts, right? So uh, for a generator with a wave winding, so for generator with a wave winding, so number of parallel paths is equal to how many conductors we have? A. But number of parallel paths, all the conductors are arranged in a two parallel paths only in a wave winding, right? So now number of conductors per parallel path, because we have divided the conductors into two parallel paths, so number of conductors per parallel path is equal to how much? Z by 2. Sorry, total number of conductors is Z by 2. So therefore EMF generated per parallel path EG is equal to EMF per conductor multiplied by number of conductors in the parallel path, right? So this is equal to EMF generated per conductor multiplied by number of conductors per parallel path. Okay, so EG is equal to EMF per conductor is phi np by 60. So phi np by 60, and number of conductors per parallel path is Z by 2. Z by 2. So that implies EG is equal to phi Z np by 120 volt. Okay, so this is the EMF generated per revolution per parallel path. Okay, similarly, if the generator is having it, if the generator is having lap winding, so for generator with lap winding, for generator with lap winding. So number of parallel paths is equal to how much? Number of parallel paths is equal to lap winding. It is, so A is equal to P. Next, number of conductors per parallel path. How many? Z by P. So total conductors are Z divided by P. So therefore now EMF generated per parallel path is equal to same formula. So Eg is equal to phi Np by 60 into Z by P. So that is equal to Pp gets cancelled here. So phi Zn by 60 volt. So therefore, so Eg is equal to phi Zn by 60 volt when the generator is having a lap winding in its armature. So it is for lap winding. This is for wave winding. Okay. So two boxes. First box represents the EMF equation, generated EMF equation of a generator with the wave winding. Second, the formula represents is for a generator with the lap winding. Okay. So in general, we can write the expression. So the number of conductors per parallel path is equal to number of conductors by number of parallel paths, right? So in general, number of conductors per path is equal to total number of conductors divided by number of parallel paths. So that is equal to Z by A. So therefore, EMF generated per parallel path is equal to phi Zn by 60 multiplied by Z by A. Okay. Okay. So then what is the form? P Z by A and P by A. So this will be the formula. So volt. So depending upon so when using the formula, we will consider we have to observe which type of winding is used in the generator. That is what we have to observe. Okay. So remaining things will automatically we can do, right? So now I will write down a problem. Note on this problem. A 4-pole generator having wave wound armature. Wave wound armature winding has a 51 slots. Total slots in the armature are 51 slots. So each slot containing 20 conductors. 20 conductors. So what will be the voltage generated in the machine? Question is, what will be the voltage generated in the machine when driven at 1500 rpm? Take flux per pole is equal to 7.0 milliwebers. This is the question. Okay, so let us see let us solve this problem so that we can have more insight into the EMF generated in a DC generator. So the data, given data, I will write down the given data here. So what is the data given? Number of poles, P is equal to 4. So type of winding is wave winding. So wave winding means how many parallel paths? Therefore, parallel paths A is equal to 2, right? Next, how many slots?
51.
Number of armature slots is equal to 51. So conductors per slot, how many? Conductors per slot is equal to 20. So therefore, total number of conductors
1020.
in armature Z is equal to how many? 51 into 20. How much it is?
1020. 1020.
1020, yeah?
Yes, sir.
How many? 1020 conductors, right? Next, what is the data given? Total number of 20 conductors. What will be the flux per pole is given, right? So speed also given. Right? The machine when driven at 1500 rpm, right? So speed of armature N is equal to 1500 revolutions per minute. Okay. Next, what is given? Flux per pole. Phi is equal to 7.0 milliwebers. That is 7 into 10 power minus 3 webers. Right. So what is the question? What will be the voltage generated in the machine? So what is the formula for a wave? What type of machine it is? It is a wave connected winding. It has in the armature wave winding, right? In the problem it is given 4-pole generator having wave wound armature. So it is a wave wound armature. For wave wound armature, what is the formula here? Eg is equal to 5ZNP by 120. Okay, so we can do easily. Eg generated EMF is equal to 5ZNP by 120, right? So how much it is? So 5 is 7 into 10 power minus 3. Z is a 1020. N is 1500. P is 4 divided by 120. So let me take the calculator because no one is giving any answer to the question posed by me. So I will be teaching myself and I will be learning. Okay. So 7 into 10 power minus 3 multiplied by 1020 multiplied by 1500 multiplied by 4, so divided by 120. How much voltage? Anyone did?
$87.
Huh?
87.
87. ఎంత వచ్చిందా బాబు?
Just a second.
It is 357. So EG is equal to 357 volt. Okay. Is there any doubt in this? So I have explained you. Is this answer correct? 357. Right. Balasubramaniam is not there today. Bogendra came into picture. Bogendra was also used to give answers, used to respond in the class. Very few are responding. Okay. So the answer is 357 volts. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. It's already 2:44, so only 6 minutes left, right? In the derivation or in the problem solving. So I have written down the problem here, and I have written down the given data. And solve this. I written down the formula, just substituting it there. So we will solve a more number of problems, a few more problems on this EMF equation in the coming class. And because it is already 2:45, now it's time for you to ask if you have any doubts. Hmm? So in today's class, these are the topics covered. So we have seen how the armature winding is placed in the armature, right? Under the heading of EMF equation of a DC generator, first we defined the quantities of the generator, that is flux per pole and total number of armature conductors, right? That is given by number of slots in the armature and the number of conductors per slot. So if these two are multiplied, we get total number of conductors Z. Next, number of poles of the generator is P, and the number of parallel paths in the armature winding is denoted by capital A. So it is 2 for wave winding, and it is equal to number of poles for a lap winding. So number of armature revolutions per minute, RPM, is N. How many revolutions did the armature is rotated in the magnetic field is RPM, N, capital N. And E, capital E, is the EMF generated per parallel path, and it is also equal to E generated EMF of the generator. right? So in the right side part of this slide, I have explained you how the conductors are connected in different number of parallel paths, right? So if I divide the total number of conductors into two groups, and each group conductors are connected in series, and they are joined in parallel with the other group, right? Then we will have two parallel paths. Number of parallel paths will be two. So like that, I can divide the conductors in any number of groups and join them in parallel in turn again, right? So that is how they are connected, right? So the mostly two type of windings are used in the are generators, DC generators. So first winding is a wave type winding. Second winding is lap type winding. Okay. So you did not go into the details how what is a wave winding, what is a lap winding. That is absolutely unnecessary for you, right? So here, these are the two types of windings. So the only thing you need to remember here is how many parallel paths will be there in a wave winding and how many in a lap winding. So next we have gone into the derivation part. So we have calculated EMF, average EMF generated per conductor. That means in one conductor, how much EMF, average EMF is generated. That is obviously given by N into d phi by dt formula given by Faraday, right? So here, because we consider only one conductor, so N becomes 1. Therefore, N equal to d phi by dt volts, right? Next, so we have proceeded to calculate d phi and dt in terms of these quantities available. So flux cut per conductor in one revolution, we have per conductor, because we are calculating EMF per conductor. Now we are calculating flux cut or flux linked by conductor in one revolution. Okay, in one revolution, how much flux this conductor is going to cut or going to come in contact with, that is d phi. So if one pole gives 5 webers of flux, right? So if the conductor passes through, say, some two from the under the influence of two poles in one revolution, that means by the end the conductor makes a complete revolution, that is 360 degrees, right? That means because we are rotating the armature we are rotating the armature here under these poles. So from the left side diagram, you can understand that, right? So if there is one conductor we considered here, so when the armature is rotated one complete revolution, so that one conductor passes through the N pole as well as S pole, right? So per pole, the flux is phi. So how much flux it will cut? N pole phi, S pole phi. So 2 into phi. So that is number of poles into flux per pole, that is d phi is equal to p into phi webers. I hope it is clear. So n is equal to number of revolutions per minute. Next we proceeded to calculate dt. Okay, so number of revolutions per second it is making. How many number of revolutions are, see, because d phi is a flux cut by conductor and dt is a how many revolutions in 1 second it is going to do, that is dt. Okay, so that is of our interest, right? So number of revolutions per minute is n, so per second it is obviously n by 60. Then we have a number of revolutions per second, and what is the time for one revolution? Obviously 1 by 1 divided by n by 60, that is 60 by n second. Okay, so 60 by n second, that is clear, right? Therefore, according to Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, average EMF generated per conductor is equal to d phi by dt, that is p phi by 60 by n. We just divided d phi with dt. Okay, so phi np by 60 volt we got. So then for generator with wave winding, number of parallel paths, because in parallel path we have so many number of conductors. Now this formula is for only one conductor. Okay, only one conductor we have derived. So we multiply it with the number of conductors of a parallel path, right? So that's why we proceeded to find out the number of conductors in a parallel path for wave winding, right? First, for wave winding, there are only two parallel paths, and hence we will have only Z by 2 conductors in parallel path. Okay, obviously the conductors are divided into two groups because parallel paths are only two. So 5 Np by 60 multiplied by Z by 2 gives a 5Z Np by 120. Okay. For generator with lap winding, so number of parallel paths are equal to number of poles. That's why number of conductors per parallel path is Z divided by P. So 5Z N by 60 into Z by P, this equals to 5Z N by 60 volt. Okay, so in general we can write this as a this can we can modify this 5Z N into P by A. So that is in general 5Z Np by 60A volt. This is the most common formula. It can be applied for wave winding as well as lap winding. Okay, 5Z Np by 60A is the formula for EMF generated by a generator, right? I hope this is clear, and let us meet in the next class, right? Because you are not asking any doubts, so it's already time is 2:53, right? So let us close the session here. Okay, anyone is there to ask any question? No one. Okay.